Today's episode of Off the Timeline is titled The Utah Miss That Broke College Football, 2003 to 2025. In college football, dynasties are remembered, championships are debated, but missed hires, those are the ones that quietly rewrite everything. Because in this alternate universe, Utah does not hire Urban Meyer in 2003. Instead, they make one of the worst hires imaginable. And from that single decision, conferences collapse, power shifts east, Texas becomes the center of the sport, and college football reaches open chaos a decade early. This is the universe where Utah misses, Pitt ascends, and Texas breaks the system. Part 1, The Miss, 2003. Utah's real-world rise was built on timing, innovation, and belief. In this universe, Utah panics. Instead of betting on a rising offensive mind, they instead hire Gary Barnett, a coach with experience, baggage, and a culture mismatch so severe it derails the program instantly. Here's some of the results for Utah for 2003 to 2006. 2003, 6-6. 2004, 5-7. 2005, 4-8. 2006, 3-9, with Gary Barnett finally getting fired. For Utah, no BCS run, no national moment, no brand elevation. Utah doesn't just lose games, they lose timing. Part 2, the ripple through the Mountain West. Without Utah breaking through, the Mountain West Conference never earns national legitimacy. BYU becomes the league's only recognizable brand. Media ceilings harden. The conference is labeled fun but capped. And one school reads the writing early, TCU, who happens to accelerate their exit strategy compared to real life. The Mountain West doesn't collapse, but it stops dreaming. Part 3, what about Urban Meyer, 2003? In this universe, he lands somewhere somewhat unexpected. Pitt. Pitt hires Urban Meyer and everything tilts east. Part 4, Urban Meyer rebuilds the Big East, 2004 to 2012. Urban Meyer at Pitt isn't a stepping stone, it's a proof of concept. Pitt under Meyer, 2004, 8-4. 2005, 10-2. 2006, 11-1 with a BCS bowl berth. 2008 to 2009, multiple 11-plus win seasons. 2011, Big East national relevance restored. Pitt becomes the modern football lab with speed, space, and physicality. And the Big East survives because of it. Part 5. Big East expands first, 2010 to 2011. Instead of being rated, this empowers the Big East to act. In this window, they add TCU, Houston, and Central Florida. The Big East becomes a football-first bridge league, part power conference, part elite group of 5 incubator. This matters later, a lot. Part 6. Pac-10 expands and leaves Utah behind, 2010. When the Pac-10 conference expands in this universe, Utah expects the lifeline. That never comes. Just like in our universe, the Pac-10 does add Colorado. They do have talks with Texas, but those talks stall and collapse. Utah is excluded, not because of geography, but lost momentum. This single omission freezes Utah in a second-tier status for the next decade. Part 7, the Texas move, 2012. In 2012, Urban Meyer leaves Pitt. Not for the SEC, Urban never goes to Florida. Not for the Big Ten, he does not go to Ohio State. Instead, he goes to Texas, and Texas immediately stops thinking like a school and starts thinking like a platform. Part 8, Texas under Urban Meyer. Here's a sampling of some of Texas's results from 2013 to 2020. 2013, they go 9-4. 2014, they go 11-2, but with a playoff snub controversy. 2015 and 2017, national championships. 2019 title game appearance. Texas doesn't just win, they dominate attention, recruiting, and media leverage. The Longhorn Network becomes the blueprint for NIL years early. Part 9, Conferences Panic. SEC expansion. The SEC reacts defensively just like in real life. They do add Texas A&M and Oklahoma, but much earlier in real life with the end game goal of containing Texas. The Big Ten. The Big Ten expands strategically, adding Missouri and Kansas with a lot of this value, not just exclusive to football, but also basketball value. For the Big 12, they add a lot of the same schools that they add in real life, those being Cincinnati, BYU, and Houston. However, they do this several years before those schools got into the Big 12 in real life. Part 10, NIL. When NIL arrives, Texas is already operating the future with centralized NIL ecosystems, direct-to-consumer media, and recruiting as brand acquisition. The SEC responds collectively. Texas responds independently. By 2023, playoff controversies are openly political, scheduling becomes factional, and media narratives harden even more than in our universe. By 2025, college football is no longer one sport. It's competing power blocks sharing a schedule. All of this happens from one decision. And from this one decision, Utah didn't just miss on Urban Meyer, they missed on timing. And in college football, timing doesn't just change outcomes, it changes who gets to decide the future. If you want the next chapter, the formal split, the Super League era, or the programs that get left behind, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and stay off the timeline.